On the day.
The 2008 World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light. Main event.
Back inside the Rio, where the Alabama Cowboy, Hoyt Corkins, has been eliminated in 162nd place. He was taken out by Ivan Demidov from Russia. Demidov now over 1.5 million chips. Over to table 2, Michael Carroll might be headed for the exit. He's all in and in trouble against Corey Albertson, both with a pair of jacks. Albertson holds top kicker.
Carroll dominated, dejected, and needing a king, or he's going home.
Oh, there it is.
Yes! Yes!
Michael Carroll stays alive and doubles up.
I never celebrate. I got to celebrate on that one.
Carroll told us earlier he always gets his money in with the best of it, but on that one, he needed luck big time.
And the best player got to suck out once in a while. God.
So Michael Carroll now just under 1 million chips. Back to our featured table where Chino Ream has had a rough day so far. Chino looks down at 9-8 of spades.
You are in, my friend.
Chino is going to call for 12,000.
Calls the big blind.
Action folds over to Matiso. He gives it up now to Sean Davis with pocket queens.
Jeez, if Davis is going to have a big pocket pair every time Chino is fooling around, Chino's in trouble.
He is in trouble, yeah. A raise from Davis now, 48,000. Dragomir folds back to Chino Ream now with his 9-8 of spades, and he will make the call for 36,000 more and go heads up once again with Davis to the flop.
36,000.
Flop is 9, queen, king. Davis with a set of queens. Ream paired his 9.
I like Chino, but it's hard to root for a guy who's always got 4% next to his name.
He checks. Davis bets 65,000 with his set.
Sean bets 65,000.
Chino got a part of that flop.
He's going to call with bottom pair and a couple of backdoor draws.
All right, hoping to get lucky on the turn.
Spew my chips away. Spew my chips away.
Got a good grasp of the situation. A tray on the turn. Davis earns the check mark. Chino checks.
190.
190,000 from Davis.
Sean bets 190,000.
He wins.
Chino will give it up now.
I believe that is a good fold.
He learned his lesson. Chino decides to suffer no more.
How big was that? Top set right there?
A middle set, one of the two.
One or the other.
And that good read comes as no surprise. Chino's learned a lot during his rise in the poker ranks, including how important a bracelet is after some missed opportunities.
Well, the first final table, I was nervous, and I didn't really fully grasp how much a bracelet means.
Chino's bracelet will have to wait.
And this year, I'm disappointed that I didn't do better.
Chino was chip leader when the final table began. It just wasn't his best of nights.
How many times are you really going to have an opportunity to win another bracelet? Most of the time, I'm in 5th gear, and I'm just going. No fear. The biggest lesson I've learned is to be a good tournament player, you have to know when to switch gears. Show the bluff. If you can't realize that, then you're not going to make it in tournaments. You know why I folded, honestly? Because I knew you had the nuts. I want to win this event. The $9 million is a lot of money, but I would give up a lot of that money to win this bracelet. I'm still in the tournament, so I have a shot. No matter what your stack is, if you're still in, you still have a shot.
Chino's stack is shrinking. If he doesn't shift gears soon, he's going to be out of the main event, and well, then he can drive me and Kara Scott to dinner.
All right, to the field now, because the Great Dane Gus Hansen just called all in after the flop. Chris Crilly, an amateur from Southern California, poised to eliminate the top pro. You recall it was that earlier hand versus Jeremy Joseph that left Gus with under 200,000 chips.
And that was an ugly hand that crippled Gus. Even though that call was mathematically correct, I wish he had folded there.
Crilly shows his cards ace high with a gut shot. Gus leads with a pair of 9s, but he's at risk. 2 cards to come. Turn card is a tray. Double gut shot for Crilly.
Keeps it interesting.
A 4, 8, or ace would end Hansen's day.
River card is the 8, and it's no longer interesting for Gus. Downright disheartening as he's been knocked out. Crilly puts the finishing touches on the top pro.
A disappointing day for Gus Hansen. He went from 1.3 million chips to no chips in short order.
Crilly will stack the remainder of Hansen's chips, and Hansen's bracelet hopes will have to wait yet another year. lot of empty tables at the Rio. Only 159 players remain. Let's go to table 2. Tiffany Michelle up against Doris Suharto. Michelle has pocket queen. Suharto 7-6 offsuit. Suharto paired his 6 and picked up a straight draw on the flop. The turn card gives Tiffany a set of queens. Tiffany, first to act.
I assume she sees the spades, but she still wants to bet.
She'll make it 100,000. Action on the amateur Suharto. He's an accountant from Toronto, Canada. He also seems undeterred by the 4 spades on the board. And he is going to raise it up to 225,000.
Suharto gets fancy here. I don't like fancy.
Michelle with the call.
I don't see how Tiffany can see the board under there.
River cards another 6, and that gives Suharto trip 6s, but Michelle gets the check mark with a full boat. They both check. And Tiffany Michelle shows the winning full house.
Tiffany wanted to check raise there, but she'll take it anyway.
But nice hand.
Now with 1.7 million chips, she is shining on poker's biggest stage, but Tiffany Michelle has had lots of practice on other stages.
I was always a performer when I was younger. I was the youngest of 4, so I kind of always had to fight for the attention. So it was kind of a given that I was going to be like the little showstopper. Poker came about as the alternate income to when I wasn't working on film and television shows, and I started playing cash games with a lot of actors. A bunch of guys were like, hey, come to poker night. I was like, okay. The nice thing about acting in poker is that I don't feel like there has to be a choice. You're working on a film for 3 months. When the 3 months is done, you can go play poker. I've always found them to be a happily married couple. I started playing small buy-in tournaments, started having good results. And then last year I became the on-camera hostess for Poker News. For PokerNews.com, I'm Tiffany Michelle. This is my first 10K buy-in event. It's my first World Series of Poker main event. Do you have any advice since you've been here before? Everyone's shocked to see that I play poker because they recognize me as like an on-camera hostess for poker. I've learned and gained a lot in my game by seeing what not to do and hearing all the bad beats and hearing the mistakes. So here I am.
She acts, sings, dances, plays piano and guitar, and she can play Jack-10 offsuit from under the gun. Who knew?
All right, let's go out in the field and see how some of the other remaining women are faring. That's Mina Rita Korpi from Finland, who celebrates winning a pot.
Mina was diagnosed with a brain tumor 2 years ago. She's been through chemo. She's a former anatomy and microbiology teacher.
Also collecting chips, Karen Manfredi.
Karen used to be a poker dealer. Now she's a poker pro from the LA area.
Elsewhere, we find Lisa Parsons from Franklin, Tennessee, contemplating calling all in. She's up against Keith Ferreira with all the cards out.
I call.
Parsons makes the call, and she flips over kings up, and Parsons will double up.
Today is Lisa's 36th birthday. She's a software consultant, but she's written several screenplays, psychological thrillers, like the main event, and she hopes to get one produced soon.
A happy birthday so far for Parsons. She has about 650,000 chips. So the 4 women in the field holding on to the feature table where the last of the 5 remaining sit. Kara Scott.
You're looking at the future Kara Scott Chad.
Yeah, right. Action on Sean Davis on the Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Cam Ace Queen of Spades.
Davis, a former software consultant, graduated from Georgia Tech.
A raise to 38,000. Kara Scott now 9-7 into the muck.
Okay, now she's folded once too often for me. I'm losing interest.
Chino Ream with a 10 of clubs and a 10 of diamonds.
All right, Chino finally has a hand against Sean Davis. Let's do it, buddy.
Chino will make the call.
Oh, I forgot about the mouth. Man, he's been quiet today.
Well, quiet with 6-4, and they do go into the muck.
Let's go, Chino, Chino, let's go.
Davis and Ream.
Let's go,
Heads up.
Chino.
The flop
Chino,
is Jack 5 Trey. Ream is best right now with 2 10s. Davis, though, with a flush draw and 2 overs, has the best chance of winning the hand.
What type of flop is that? Chino and I aren't in good shape anymore.
Davis bets 55,000. Chino
Spew my chips away.
comes along with those 10s.
Spew my chips away.
Is everybody going to sing while I'm talking?
He must have heard.